A little late today. I was on another call, but better late than never. We're just going to go through the lines that are available for the college football games for this week. And I was telling Joe some quick stories from my Grateful Dead tour days while we were getting set up for the show. I think she learned something new about me every day. But now she probably knows where the this game is probably better on acid statement comes from.
Absolutely. And now every time you say that, I'm going to be like, but did you have duct tape?
Yes. Duct tape. And that one I've had, oh my God, I can't even tell you, like the vans I've ridden in, like the situations, it's like, oh my God, crazy.
Oh, you should write a book on those stories. I bet you they'd be top sellers.
I think a lot of people share those same experiences, and I think that's the whole thing about, like, if you went on, if you grew up during the era of the Grateful Dead, and when they had all the shows and the tours and and everything like that, and oh man, it was like, that's why it took me so long to finish college. I was on tour half the time.
Well, it would have been amazing half the time that you're doing that.
It was. I got to see the whole country, and
oh wow,
it was amazing, and met people all around the country, people I'm still friends with.
Those are life experiences you never forget.
Absolutely, they are. But we've got college football, tons of it this week, of course, and we're just going to go over the card. Tomorrow night we got App State and Coastal. I think we'll go over that tomorrow morning on the show, probably pretty much, because we do have a ton of NBA tomorrow, and we will have baseball, and hockey. How much hockey is it? There can't be that much. I mean, there's a million games today. Usually,
I think there's a million games every day from here on out in hockey.
It's like they're sick of these double seasons, so they're gonna just group up. Not tomorrow. There's only 2 games.
Oh, okay.
Flyers, Bruins, Vegas, St. Louis. So 2 good games, I would guess. And but so we have college football. I don't think anyone really wants to compete with the NBA, and we're even seeing that with the college football schedule for Saturday, where the latest game on Saturday night, I believe there's the Hawaii game that starts it actually starts on Sunday, but for the rest of you, for me, it's at 6:00, but the rest of you guys is Sunday, and but outside of that, the latest start for a college football game this weekend is 7:30 Eastern time. And that's because there's, I believe, 14 NBA games on Saturday night. So they don't even want to go up against it. So I'm fine with it, and it all kind of smooths itself out, and, it all works itself out. But anyways, let's just get right into it. We have a bunch of games during the week, and, we'll cover those, I think, on our morning shows. We got SMU, Tulane, Arkansas State, Louisiana, Charlotte, FAU, UNLV, San Jose State, Middle Tennessee, UConn. Oof, that's lousy. It's about as bad as it gets. Middle Tennessee, UConn.
So you're not excited to watch that one?
UConn is so bad. It's like they can't even keep a coach. It's like you take the job knowing you're going to lose, and you can't even keep the coach then. It's like, it's so bad. It's like they had Diaco a few years ago, and they had to do 10% more than everybody else. So the red zone started on the 22-yard line. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You lose me then. UCF against Memphis, Utah State, Colorado State. That's going to be a good one. That's one of those trophy games we talked about yesterday. And I think that's the Beehive boot. I think it could be.
I think, yeah. Must be.
Well, let's see. Colorado State, Utah State. So Boston College, Bowling Green, Clemson, Maryland, Colorado. Maybe it's under Utah State. Oh no, it's got to be here. Utah State, Utah. Utah State, Wyoming. Utah State, BYU. Nope. That's it. So, not one of those games.
Okay.
But it could be. Anyways, we've got Arizona, Washington, also two lousy Pac-12 teams. So we have some bad midweek college football. So we have the highlight game is Colorado State, Utah State, and UCF Memphis. That's just what the schedule looks like. And takes us to Saturday, and Kansas State, Texas Tech, Wake Forest, Army, Kansas, Oklahoma. Now there's a gem, 38.5-point spread there for the Sooners. Got Florida State against UMass, must be homecoming in Tallahassee. Got some MAC games. We got Central Michigan against Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan. Michigan, Northwestern. I'm taking Northwestern, so just so the Michigan fans can send me hate mail. Navy.
You gotta love that.
I don't want to disappoint them. I don't.
No.
You know, it's like if I took Michigan, they would be like, this guy finally wised up. I'm not wising up.
Ever.
You're just wising up. Navy against Cincinnati, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Penn State, Illinois. A lot of football there at the early slot. Like I said, this week's card is pushed down because they don't want to compete against the NBA, who's got 14 games, I believe, on Saturday. Any of these, Joe?
Yeah, so,
Michigan, Northwestern? Going to take Michigan.
How many touchdowns does Oklahoma have to beat Kansas by? You know, I think they can do it.
It's 6.
Like what, 6?
6.
I think they can do it.
I
would
also
take
like Oklahoma first
minus
half in that
the
one.
1,000,000 points.
I like them first half also.
Yeah,
I don't
could
even care what it is.
Too.
I don't even care what it is.
No, I think Kansas is in big trouble in this game as well. Even with 38 points, I can see them blowing them out by, a good 45 in this one and laying off in that last quarter to not make it even higher. I'm with you on Michigan too, 21.5 points on that, but I think they have it. Or sorry, Northwestern has it plus the points. I think that's Michigan.
Yeah, Oklahoma, Kansas, actually all the trends are towards Kansas in this game. Like every trend, but I don't care about those. I'm telling you.
What about the trend that they burnt me once this season and I'm not relying on Kansas to cover again?
Dead to me. We should have the dead to me emoji, I think.
Absolutely. I really believed in them that one week earlier in the season.
I'm going to make the dead to me emoji. Dead to me. Maybe I can use the Grateful Dead symbol. Dead to me.
That would be cool.
Emoji.
Yeah, that would be good. And then I'm liking Army plus the points against Wake Forest. I really do think Army can hang tight with them. This would be a lower scoring game in my opinion, and they could win this one outright.
What about the two teams with the same color uniforms issue they have there with Wake and Army?
I'm okay with it. I know you can't bet it if they're the same color.
It's a struggle. I can't go there.
That's okay. Then don't take that one. How far did we go down? All in that one time slot.
We went all the way to 12:30 Eastern, Virginia Tech, Syracuse.
Okay, well, what about this Navy Cincinnati one? I think Navy can hang with the Bearcats. 27.5 points is a lot. I think another one that's going to be low scoring as Navy tries to eat that clock. I can see them covering the 27.5.
I could see it, but they've been so bad this season. But still 3-3 against the number. Cincinnati 5-1. We saw the Bearcats really put some points up last week.
Yeah.
Kansas State sort of dead to me after that Iowa State game, but I would say I just can't get off them. This is only their second road game of the season. They got slaughtered in their first one. Maybe they bounce back a little here.
They possibly could.
Texas Tech, the quietest 5-2 that you'll ever see. There are some really good games on the schedule as we move on. I think this Virginia Tech Syracuse is a really good game. When you look at Syracuse at 3-4, the one thing that I noticed in this game, in the Syracuse Virginia Tech game when I did my first look capping of these games, last game 17-14, 3 points they lost. The game before that 40-37, 3 points they lost. The game before that 33-30, they lost 3 points once again. The game before that 24-21, They lost. The last 4 games have been divided by 3 points each. Exactly.
Yeah. It's nuts. This team has been covering the spread. They're 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games. 6-1 in their last 7 games this season. Like, there's only been that one game that they haven't covered. So I think Syracuse plus the points is definitely the way to go in this game. I think they're such a young, talented team. I think they could win this one.
They have a lot of speed, and they have some, I think they're not bad. These are the 2 best 3-win teams in the country.
Oh, for sure. And we've seen Virginia Tech struggle offensively. I could see Virginia not winning this one and Syracuse taking it.
So we move on to the next times. Oh, we also have Illinois Penn State here. And, Illinois is just dreadful. Brett Bielema, I mean, he got fired on the field at Arkansas. I would like to run down there and fire him. They should have a raffle as to who gets to fire him next. It's like, I know you have to give him a few years at Illinois, but it's like, I mean, how much, they should do, they should sell it on eBay, to the highest bidder. You get to fire him, It's like.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? That would be amazing.
Would be amazing. Anyways, we got Georgia State, Texas State, Ohio versus Kent State, Ole Miss LSU. Ed Orgeron out at LSU. He's riding it out. They're looking to let him finish the season, but Coach O is gone. I have to say about Coach O, the thing about him is one of the best recruiters there is in college football. This guy, I mean, how could you not? Everyone loves this guy, right? But when it comes to the game day coaching, it's same problems that he's had everywhere else. He can get the guys there, but when it comes to actually coaching the game, you just don't have Joe Burrow who is a coach on the field for you every year. And that's part of the problem he's got. 2 years removed from a national championship, undefeated season at LSU, beating Alabama, and now he's hopefully. I'm hoping that Miami picks him up in some capacity because he's been there before with us. Oh yeah, when he was with us, we had great recruits. We had Ed Orgeron handling was our recruiting coordinator. We got everybody. Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss. Yeah. We had we're loaded. Willis McGahee. We had Clinton Portis. We got Frank Gore. You name it. We had everybody. Ray Lewis we got with Ed Orgeron. We got Warren Sapp. We had a killer team.
Wow.
We had a killer team. John Vilma was with Ed Orgeron. We had everybody.
Outstanding team. Wow.
Oh, it was basically a Hall of Fame NFL team. Every position. Andre Johnson, the wide receiver.
Wow.
Loaded.
Yeah, at that point, it's who didn't you have?
Yep.
Right? It's just nuts.
Won 39 games in a row.
Crazy.
That's what happens when you have a good recruiter and a good coach.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But anyways, Purdue, Wisconsin, UCLA, Oregon. This is the time slot right here. Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Cal against Colorado, and Ball State. In Colorado, they don't call it Colorado. They Colorado.
Colorado?
Colorado. Colorado against Cal. Ball State against Miami of Ohio. UAB against Rice. Toledo versus Western Michigan. Akron versus Buffalo. Minnesota versus Maryland. Washington State, BYU. Wyoming, New Mexico. All those in the 3:30 p.m. Eastern time slot. I wonder if they still have Ralphie the Buffalo at Colorado. I'm sure the animal rights activists have nipped that fine tradition in the bud of having a live buffalo stampede across the field before the game. Always wanted to maybe be one of the guys that gets to hold the rope, running along.
Buffaloes are so mean. You wouldn't want to be. They'll try to kill you.
Well, Ralphie's a tough customer. It takes like 4 or 5 guys to have those ropes that run down the field with them. Yeah.
sure they had him drugged too, because I've come across a fence, walked, and seen a
don't think
buffalo,
so.
and they did not like you.
I don't know.
Oh.
Ralphie is I wonder if they still have Ralphie the buffalo.
He must be old.
Oh no!
If he wasn't charging people.
It's like in Georgia they have Uga, the bulldog. Yeah. They buried. I mean, the Uga lives like better than most people.
Okay, so in this time slot, I am happy to finally see Clemson as not a favorite. The books have finally adjusted this line. Clemson is plus 3.5 against Pittsburgh. And this is one I think that, Clemson should be the favorite in. I see them pulling off an upset in this one. Clemson hasn't been doing well. They haven't been covering spreads. They've been falling apart, but this is one where I think their defense is so tough that they're going to be able to have a lower scoring game in which they win. They haven't covered the spread in their last 7. They've just, it's not the Clemson team we know, but I think they get the win in this one.
So Ralphie the Buffalo has been in existence at Colorado since 1934.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it took took a cowboy and 4 students to keep Ralphie down the sideline. They had him on the sideline the full game in his first game. Then there's Ralphie 1, Ralphie 2, Ralphie 3. Yeah, they just keep going on and on. Ralphie 4. Oh, boy, he looks mean. Ralphie 5, Ralphie 6.
Which is the meanest looking Ralphie?
I tell you.
Is it Ralphie 4?
New one, formally announced. Oh boy! Oh man, Ralphie 5 was just tough. Yeah,
Ralphie 5, hey?
Not happy. He's not a happy little guy. I'll tell you that much.
I would not want to run into a buffalo. That's for sure.
This is
stories I've heard.
I think this is the one that I saw there, Ralphie 3, because I was there. I think it was 92. Folsom Field. Which you would think would be a gigantic stadium, but it really wasn't that big. I was surprised. It was kind of like Folsom. Yeah, it was Ralphie 3, the one that I saw.
Okay.
He was from Laramie, Wyoming. Oof.
They put it like a banner on him or something, like across his back, or?
Are you kidding? They got so many guys trying to hold this thing back. It's a runaway buffalo running down the middle of a full stadium of people.
Trying to picture it all.
It is. I don't know if I could show this on the show. These videos. Not sure.
Definitely going to have to check it out after.
It is, yeah, I mean, it is, not a, yeah, this is exactly what it is. It's a live buffalo stampeding down, and there's 4 guys that kind of hold on to him very closely. But I mean,
wow!
And it's just a baby, they don't. It's not like a full-grown one.
It sounds deadly.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. It's like, who came up with this idea?
It must have involved acid and duct tape.
Yes. And then they run him into the trailer, like that's what they lead him into. It's like, all right, shut the door.
Quick. Yeah.
Yep, it is one of those. I don't know. Colorado, they've been decent. They're still. I think they still only have 1 win, right? This year.
Colorado.
2-4. 2-4. Cal 1-4. So any of these games, they like.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Clemson one. I think really they could get the upset in this. I see a lower scoring, 21-18 kind of game with Clemson coming out on top. I know Pittsburgh's quarterback is unbelievable, but I think the defense of Clemson actually is pretty good this season still, although their offense is struggling. And then let's see which other ones. Got so many in this time slot. What about this Wisconsin one? I think Wisconsin at -2.5 is a good pick over Purdue. I see them playing tight.
I really hate Wisconsin.
I know you do. That's why I had to bring it up.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. I kind of just got a bone to pick with them, So I got to go for Purdue on the spite alone.
Yeah, and Purdue at home is really good as well. This is one I like the total over as well. I think we get over with that one. And I know Clemson's trash. People are putting Clemson as trash. They are trash this year. But we finally got Clemson in a position which we haven't seen in forever. When was the last time Clemson was an underdog? You get them plus the points.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Clemson has been a dog.
Yeah, and just with this defense, I love taking them plus the points to at least hang in tight. I wouldn't throw them on the money line, but it's quite possible.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people being dragged by Ralphie. I have to send you this one.
Oh, that would be hilarious to see.
Yeah, it's just not a good idea. It's kind of like it sounds like a good idea, but it's like the same idea as like letting the LSU Tiger out on the field. It's like
there's actually a tiger.
Oh yeah, he's a big full-grown tiger. They have him at LSU when you go to Baton Rouge. He has like his own place, like a regular like a tiger field, like a field and there's a moat, like a normal tiger. But on game day, they towed him down to the field in a cage. Mike.
Smart.
Mike is the name of the tiger at LSU.
I don't think Mike is a friendly name for a tiger.
I don't have to look
Mike,
that
stay
one
away.
up. That one I know. It's like Mike, Ralphie. These are just bad ideas. The LSU Tiger died like 4 years ago, and they got a new one. Yeah, that's what they always do. Just like Ucla the Bulldog. They're on like Ucla like 10.
Aw, sad. Now, do you think Ole Miss will cover these 10.5 points against LSU?
No, I like LSU in this one. They've been terrible, but Ed Orgeron has Ed Orgeron. With him going out of LSU, he's a real players coach. So
yeah, I could definitely see it as well. I'm liking what I'm seeing. LSU has those moments where it's just like they really come together. So I'm liking it. I think 10.5 is way too many points for Ole Miss to cover in this one.
Defense just a sieve. They're just terrible. Yeah. I like Oklahoma State against Iowa State too. I know this line went up 0.5 point, but I don't care. Oklahoma State just seems to not get a lot of respect.
Yeah, I think they could win this one flat out. Right? 6.5 points. That's a lot. And I think they get the upset win.
Yeah, the video I sent you is kind of like the long version, but they do have the actual running of Ralphie out onto the field.
I can't wait to watch it. Now, what do you think about these Oregon Ducks at UCLA?
I like
Oregon as a small dog.
I like Oregon in this one. I know that Brian will be all over UCLA, but
yeah. Yeah, we've got a spread of only 1.5 for UCLA. I think Oregon 6-0 on the season.
This is only the
4-1 against the spread.
Oregon. This is their only. They've only covered one time, and it was as a dog, when they were at Ohio State, and so they're a dog again here. I'm going to send you the picture of Mike the Tiger from his little den. You'll see the little tiny tiger cub that they use. I mean, this thing's got to be 900 pounds. I mean, he is just ridiculously large. It's not like a little tiger. It's like a full-blown,
Okay, I'm having a look right now.
It's the bottom of the 2 videos I sent you. Look at the size of this thing.
Well, I'm getting a clothing ad right now, so we're going to skip that commercial and let's see this. Oh, he doesn't look like a happy tiger.
It's like, I mean, that's a tiger. They have him on the sidelines of the game. He's in like a cage though when he's on the sidelines. It's like, I mean, it's gigantic.
Oh my God. It's one of those questions like, who decided this was a good idea?
Yeah, there's Mike the tiger.
This tiger does people on the other side of the glass. I couldn't imagine in a cage.
So there's also another one of the live mascots is Bevo the Longhorn. Okay. Bevo is like, I mean, it's once again, it's not like a small little cow or anything like that. It's like a giant steer, like with the full horns, the everything.
Oh, wow.
It is, he is.
Oh man, that is not a happy tiger.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Mike is a full blown real tiger. And then here's Bevo the Longhorn, and they actually do have him on the sideline, with like handlers holding him in ropes, holding him in place. You'll see this. He is a.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He is a side of beef and then some. He is,
oh man.
And they walk him right out onto the field. Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
His horns are like.
Yeah. Imagine if this thing gets loose and is running around a full stadium of people.
This is one of those, like, who thought, again, this was a good idea.
But you got to figure it's Texas, so you got to figure most of people there have guns, so probably in pretty good shape.
That's true, but still, because then what's going to happen? He's going to be running at everyone.
Oh, yeah.
People got to start shooting.
Bevo was euthanized on the field.
I wonder if they have to have a tranquilizer there of some sort, just in case.
Oh, they must. I mean, who thinks of these things? You know, I think Mike. To me, it's like Mike the Tiger is tough customer, and then you have. I mean, you have to. What if he somehow got out of his cage? I mean, no one would stand a chance against that thing.
Well, and here's the thing: we live in a society where you have to put a warning label on coffee. But we can have a tiger and this big, huge longhorn at our games.
So Ucla the bulldog did bite a player.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did bite somebody. It was on an opponent, one of the opponents. It was, yeah.
Hopefully the player was okay. That's kind of funny. I shouldn't laugh at that, but hopefully the player was okay. But it's a small bulldog. It's not like the tiger bit someone. Yeah, where we're worried about someone losing an arm.
He bit an Auburn guy. Here, I'll show you. I'll send you this one.
I'm sure someone enticed him too.
This was in 1996, but it was very famous because he totally. It wasn't like it wasn't like he took a little nip at him or like he went by and it was like unintentional or anything like that. He seriously went into attack mode and attacked the player. So there's the video on that one. That was
okay. Let's see this. Oh wow! Yeah, he did not like him.
Wow. So this is why you don't see more live animals as mascots.
Absolutely! Wow.
Aggressive little guy.
And he looked so happy in the little doghouse there.
Oh yeah, he's got a little sweater going on. I mean, he is treated like royalty. He is treated like royalty. All right, we move on.
Well, dogs are the best breed of people. That's all I've got to say.
Oh wait,
nothing against that player. But
so Washington State against BYU. Washington State has been playing really well, and BYU has not been playing well their last couple of games. So, what
is the line on that one, Mitch?
But, of course, Washington State, their coach, Nick Rolovich, was fired. So, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The line is now at 4.5. It was at 2. BYU is favored.
Oh, yeah. Give me Washington.
That Ucla. He's not that nice of a dog.
I still can't believe that.
Yeah, Washington State also lost 4 other players from their staff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Falling apart there.
Uga's he's mean. You think he's just too way overspoiled like my dog? Where it's just like, he's
Um,
his feelings are
yeah,
hurt if you don't stop and rub his belly.
maybe. Maybe that's his issue.
I'm sure they have like someone on staff just to rub Uga's belly.
Probably. Right? Make sure he's happy coming out to every game.
It's funny on my Google homepage they have the Pavlova.
You got to try it.
Yeah, because we were Googling it the other day.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna have to make it. It's delicious.
So Maryland looked hideous the last time we saw them against Iowa. They haven't played in 2 weeks, and they're playing Minnesota this week at Minnesota. Minnesota coming off that big win against the Nebraska, but really it wasn't just that one. They also beat Purdue the game before that. So they've been playing their best football, 4-2 on the season. Now it's like, well, they have one of those losses is Ohio State. The other one is Bowling Green. We know that.
Yeah.
But really, the Ohio State loss, just one conference loss, and they beat Iowa. They beat not Iowa. They beat Nebraska. Now they got Maryland, who turned the ball over like no one's business last time we saw them.
Oh, for sure. But off that week off, do you think they're going to be able to regroup and get things back flowing the right way? I think they could.
I like Minnesota.
I don't know if it will be enough.
Yeah, 5 points is a lot for a Minnesota game, though. PJ Fleck, not really like a drive the nail in the coffin type guy. Pitt against Clemson, I'm with you. I like Pitt in this one, too. I think Pitt's playing great. Clemson 0-6 against the number this season.
Yeah.
Now, Liberty plays against North Texas. North Texas, of course, looked hideous against Marshall. Just really disgusting. But Liberty looked just as bad against Louisiana Monroe, losing outright as a 32.5-point favorite.
I cannot see Liberty doing this again. I think they have a huge bounce back. I think
that was the biggest upset of the season. On the new Pick Dog site, which I believe will be released in the next day or so, it really hammers home the dogs. And what you'll see is probably that upset as the biggest upset of the year in college sports.
Bigger than the Texas A&M upset?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Texas A&M was an 18-point dog.
That's true.
Louisiana Monroe is 32.5.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane. That's like plus 3,300 on the money line.
Wow.
Miami Dolphins have invited me to a single game suite.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Private space is great for entertaining clients, coworkers, rewarding top performers, and hosting groups of friends or family. I want to make sure you're aware to plan accordingly. If you're interested, just let me know, Mitch. Let me know which games work best, and I'll send some information.
There you go. It's very nice of them to offer that.
Promotion with Formula One, our single game suite. What is Formula One? Oh, racing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That sounds fun.
2 complimentary weekend F1 passes in the shade near the start-finish line. Nice.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
That could be fun. It's only, a 14-hour plane ride for me to get there?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nice and quick.
Yep. With a mask, wearing a mask the whole way. That would be a good time.
Yeah. I wouldn't make it. I'd have a panic attack 14 hours with a mask on.
I don't think I would make it.
I get in the supermarket and it's bad. That's why there's hardly any groceries in my house. I think I have to do curbside pickup. It's a lot easier.
All right, let's see. We've got Vandy against Mississippi State. We've got Houston against East Carolina. Oh, Louisville, Boston College. Boston College, I'm still mad. I'm still bitter about that last game against NC State. Yeah, I think like if anyone felt anything on Saturday, it was the bad vibes coming from me on about Boston College. Really upsetting. Just it was just really upsetting. It was one of the ones my wife's like, they can't hear you. I'm like, I don't care. They suck that bad.
There is a possibility somewhere.
I want them to. They suck. She's like, they couldn't suck that bad. She looked at the score. She's like, what was how many points do they need to win by? I'm like, they're getting points. It's like 30? No. No, they're not getting 30. How about 3? It's like, oh, yeah. Not easy living room on Saturdays sometimes over here. Got
I hear you.
Alabama against Tennessee, Air Force against San Diego State, 6-1 and 6-0. Mountain West battle in that one. Not a lot of love there for Air Force, but they're 3.5-point favorites, but just not getting any recognition in the polls. Miami against NC State. It was NC State that got me last week, and then Miami now not only is their quarterback out for the season, their top running back is out for the season.
Yeah, not looking good for Miami right now.
Wow, their backup running back is really good, though, and so is their backup quarterback, so we'll have to see.
Well, that's good.
Virginia against Georgia Tech. Indiana against Ohio State. Notre Dame against USC.
Guys.
Got TCU against
some good games in this time slot.
Yeah, TCU, West Virginia, Texas A&M, South Carolina. And I mean, it's like in the whole day they pack everything in the 3:30 and 7:30 time slot.
Yeah.
And then Oregon State, Utah, and Hawaii, New Mexico State is the last.
Yeah,
so,
I'm loving the Buckeyes this week. I think they win and cover against this Indiana team. I think they need to. They need to stay relevant, so they need to come out and really make a statement with this one.
Yeah, I think that they always struggle at Indiana, but I really think that this is going to be a real business trip for them. Traditionally, they've really had trouble at Indiana, but I do think that you're right. I think this is a real business trip for them, and I think they just take care of business. It's less than 3 touchdowns. I think they have no problem with it. I also like Tennessee against Alabama, plus the points. This line is, I liked it better at 27.5. It's 25.5 now. I still like it enough. I think, I don't think this Bama team is so invincible like some of the ones we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I agree with you there for sure. I'd definitely take the others plus the points.
I was really mad at Boston College. I mean, I was really
mad. You're still mad. It will be forever remembered. I just didn't understand
it. It was like, I hate it when teams look like they've given up when there was no reason to give up.
Yeah,
they're still in the game. Yeah, at halftime, right? So they were. It was 7-7 in the first quarter. It was 10-7 at halftime. Yeah. You're in the game. So you give up 21 third quarter points. What are you doing?
No, it makes no sense. I don't even know what happened. They just fell apart completely.
It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Fumble recovery for 34 yards, and then a 79-yard touchdown pass. It's like just like that. That's how fast it happens,
Yeah.
It goes from a 3-point game to a 17-point game. And then they blocked the punt in the end zone for the safety just to rub a little salt in my wounds.
Oh, for sure. No, I know you're not a huge fan of Notre.
That's when I was screaming.
Yeah, I can feel it. I didn't hear you from here, but I'm sure they somehow heard you through the TV. I know you're not a huge fan of Notre Dame, but do you think they can cover the 6.5-point spread over USC?
Yeah, I do. This is a bad USC team, and Notre Dame's not a great one, but I think they're good enough. So Michael Santoro is saying 5 of the top 11 teams in the Big Ten are unbeaten, and it will sort itself out. But I don't think it means the Big Ten is the strongest conference. I think what it means is they play the softest out of conference schedule. And then within conference, they have the biggest scheduling issues because there's more than 10 teams in the Big Ten. So not everybody plays each other. So it's not like the teams that have played the tougher schedules in the Big Ten, like Michigan hasn't played Iowa, they haven't played Michigan State, and they haven't played the tougher teams. Now, it's not their fault Wisconsin sucks this year. But Wisconsin has lost to Penn State. Wisconsin, these are the ones. So Penn State hasn't played Ohio State. They played Iowa and lost. The teams that have played against other big teams each now have a loss. So like Iowa, they beat Penn State, but they couldn't get back up for Purdue the next week. So until that all shakes out, like Michigan will play Michigan State. They play each other every year.
Yeah.
And then Michigan will play Ohio State, who has a loss. And so there's 2 losses for Michigan right there. They're not going to beat Ohio State, right?
Not at all.
That's not going to happen.
No. Ohio State's not going to let that happen. So we have 14 teams in the Big Ten. Why is it still called the Big Ten, Mitch?
Because it's tradition.
Okay.
It's tradition.
Just wanted to know.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Yeah. It's one thing that confuses a lot of people because there was originally 10 teams, correct?
Yeah, originally there was 10 in the Big Ten. Now there's 14.
Yeah.
They added Nebraska. Nebraska was an added team. Penn State was the 11th team in the Big Ten.
Okay.
They added them. Penn State was an independent, and then they added Penn State as the 11th team. Then they added Maryland to get that region of the country, also the Maryland basketball. Then they added Nebraska, which they stole from the Big 12, which was just a big get for them. And then who else was added? Who's the other added team to the Big Ten? So those 3. And then Rutgers to get to the New York area, once again an independent. So those are the 4 adds. They would love Notre Dame, but Notre Dame says no. Notre Dame looks like...
Oh, really?
Notre Dame plays in the ACC in basketball and every other sport except for football.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I think Notre Dame definitely comes out and covers, especially they had a bye last week, I believe, as well. So they should come out prepared and ready.
Yeah, it's a big game. This is a trophy game also. I think it's for the Shillelagh or something they play for.
Like it.
Notre Dame. It's one of the oldest rivalries, Notre Dame USC.
That should be a good one.
Let's see. USC. Do they call them Southern Cal in this? Notre Dame USC is for the Jeweled Shillelagh.
What does shillelagh mean?
I'm not sure. I think it's some kind of stick. This game started in 1926. They have played 91 times.
Wow.
Yep. There's been some good ones over the years. The Bush Push game. The Jeweled Shillelagh. There it is. The first Jeweled Shillelagh awarded to the winner of the annual USC Notre Dame game. Oof, it's hideous. Most of these trophies are hideous. That's the thing about them. Most of them are hideous. Let's see what else we have on the schedule. This one, Boston College just really left a mark.
Are you going to bet Boston College again this year?
Why does Joe say Notre Dame instead of Notre Dame instead of Notre Dame? Because she's Australian. That's why.
As soon as I read a name, I say it the other way.
Yep. Because she's Australian. Is that okay with you, Gary?
Maybe not. Gary, you're going to have to come and say, I don't even know if I can say it. Notre
Dame.
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 Dame. See, I can't even try.
How about same?
Same. I can say same.
Dame.
Dame.
There.
Notre Dame. It's not going to come out like that ever again. I will try, though. There's a couple words that slip out. I have to really think about it.
It sounds classier the way she says it, but I have to say, doesn't classen them up at all. My book. So, she tries to class it up, but slap a little lipstick on that pig, but it's not working.
Oh, yeah, I do. I have to try somehow. The beers and the chicken wings aren't helping.
So Oregon State against Utah, okay? Oregon State 4-2, Utah 4-2, but Utah actually playing their best football of the season, and Oregon State playing the last 2 games were terrible. So, or last game at least. And I got to go with Utah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Utah takes this one. What's the line on this one, Mitch? I don't have it right in front of me.
Oregon State +3 at home.
Oh, yeah. Give me Utah minus the 3 for sure.
I kind of like Georgia Tech against Virginia also. I just think that's one of those games, Just sometimes you just see those ones, and it's just one of those games. I took UTSA last week. They did not disappoint me. So I'm going to have to go ride them again. 7-0 on the season, 3-0 on the road, 7-0, 6-1 against the spread this season. And they're laying 7 against Louisiana Tech, who's 2-1 at home, but just 1-2 against the number at home. I like UTSA. I once was on a show and I said Texas. I like Texas San Antonio, and everyone's like, "Who?" UTSA. Oh,
right. We just know the acronyms sometimes on some of these teams. What do you think about this Bama Tennessee game?
I think I don't really like, but I like Tennessee enough to say that I'll take Tennessee in the game with the points. I don't think they're going to go into Bama and beat them, but I do think they have a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to see it move up a little bit more because I think the public loves
come down.
to bet
It's
Bama.
Come down.
It has.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from 27.5 to 25.5.
Oh, wow. Okay, so lots of love coming in for Tennessee.
Too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting to that point where it will be. I think Bama wins by, 23, 24 points is what. Yeah, it's where I'd put that game.
Anything else you see on the card? I think we pretty much have covered most of them.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the ones we've talked about. I'm excited for this weekend, looking for a great Saturday morning show.
Yep, Saturday we'll be going over these in detail as always.
Yeah.
But Saturday, it looks like, I think, so tomorrow is 11 NBA games, but I think Saturday is going to be a really big card.
Oh, yeah, it's going to have to be. NBA is going to come out full power. Yeah. It's also crazy for NHL on Saturday, too. Hockey night in Canada is huge here, so lots of games.
It's just 8 on Saturday. I thought there was more than that. So there's 8 on Saturday, but they're all Saturday night.
Okay.
2 late games, too. So there's not a lot of late college football this week. There's none. Which is just strange.
It is.
Oh, well.
Maybe just the first weekend with the NBA and NHL really in full swing. Who knows?
It all works itself out. Let's see if they're doing the same thing next week. You don't know because they don't have the times for the games but next week is actually that Michigan State game.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, that is going to be the game. That is on Saturday. That one's usually a noon game. It's at Michigan State. My computer just hates me right now. Ooh, Rutgers, Illinois. That's a good one.
Ooh, that'll be a fun one to watch.
Oh, I see what happened. It's one of those things where it's like you're trying to click your mouse around on the computer screen, and then they suck you into some commercial that you did, some site like you clicked on the ad and wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Baylor, Texas will be next week. Iowa, Wisconsin, Arizona State, Washington State, Rice, North Texas, West Virginia, Iowa State. College football at its finest. TCU, Kansas State, 2 teams with the same colors. Just straight out no play for me on that one. Silver and you think you go silver and purple, you're probably safe. No,
Yeah.
You're not. Ole Miss Auburn. That's the 7 o'clock ESPN game. The night game on ABC, the big one, will be Ohio State, Penn State next week. In San Diego State, Fresno State's a late game. So there are late games next week. And NBC getting into this night game thing with these Notre Dame games. This week it's USC. Next week, North Carolina at night. Boy, I bet you they thought North Carolina was going to be a lot better than they are. 4-3.
Oh, for sure.
Season.
Yeah.
Liberty.
Do they ever move games in college football, Mitch?
Yeah, they do. So there's a whole slew of games for next week. Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Kansas, Oregon, Colorado, Rutgers, Illinois, Northwestern Minnesota, Oregon State, Cal, Washington State, Arizona State, UCLA, Utah, and Wyoming, San Jose State. None of those games have times on them. So it's very possible that they could move. So Fox will have that Michigan State game. So they could put it at a noon slot, or they can put it at night up against Penn State, Ohio State if they really wanted to.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of these other games too, when we look at, now that we look at it, Colorado, Oregon, Arizona State, Washington State, Utah, UCLA, San Jose State, Wyoming could all be late night games. So maybe we're back in business for next Saturday. But anyways, we're always in business here at Pick Dogs. Joe and I are here every day at around this time doing some sort of show. We're going to start having guests on this. I sent out an email to the cappers and asked if anyone wanted to come on. Got no real firm answers from anyone. A lot of people want to be on Fridays, though. So the show should be good. And that's about it. But thanks, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you all. And have an awesome day. VIP members, I'll see you guys in about a half hour.